G'day folks, Links here, and welcome back to Nomifactory. This is probably going to be a really short video because I recorded an episode where I actually did stuff and then I hit the wrong button in OBS, and that recording went bye-bye. I really should edit. I really should at least get some form of basic editor, so then when I accidentally do that, I can just splice the videos. I can just splice videos together. But anyway, it is what it is. So what I was going to do today, or what I have been working on today, is getting Numismatic dynamos to basically sort our power problem for, well, the foreseeable future. So last episode, we set up the Enderpearl automation. This is now clogged up. It's all nice and full. We have 32 stacks of pulsating dust, and we have 32 stacks of pulsating polymer clay. Basically, we need to put this to use. Now, we will be having other DML setups at some point for other resources, but the most pressing DML setup right now is power. Is to get us power. So through the power of machine learning, we are going to get unlimited diamonds, and using this pristine shulker matter, which comes from a shulker data model. I've leveled it up to self-aware. I think this took like a couple of hours to level up to self-aware. But basically, we are going to have unlimited, renewable, clean power from machine learning. If only it was that easy in real life. So I have everything. In theory, I have everything I need. So we need another simulation chamber and a loop fabricator. And I've got 2 Numismatic dynamos. I can't remember what the ratio is for simulation chambers to dynamos. We will quickly check that. But what I'm making now is I just need some fuel catalyzers to shove into these. I need some fuel catalyzers to shove into these dynamos. Now, how many slots? So these are hardened. I've upgraded them to hardened, so they will produce 3,750 RF per tick each. The upkeep for the data model is 512 RF per tick. And the loop fabricator, I think, uses 1,000 RF per tick to make the diamonds. When it needs to make diamonds, but because each diamond is worth 1.2 million RF, and once we get fuel catalyzers in there, they are going to go quite a long way. So what I need to do though is I need to make more iron, because I need wrought iron. I need more wrought iron. So what we're gonna do. 2 stacks of gold ore, shove that in there. I think gold is probably going to be one of the next resources I set up a data model for, because I always feel like I'm running low on gold, and we're going to need a lot of it in HV. We're also going to need a lot of silver in HV as well. And although I can buy gold ore, it costs Nomi quarters rather than Nomi coins, so it's actually quite expensive to buy gold ore. After rotten flesh. So as you probably gathered by now, I get talking and then I wander around my base forgetting what I was actually looking for. So we are going to, we're just going to use overworldium matter to make some wrought iron. And then that, in theory, we should be able to quite easily make. Tell you what, we will make 4 stacks of iron, but we'll only send 2 stacks of it through the furnace. I also made a stack of vibrant alloy, although some of it has obviously gone on the dynamos. So the Numismatic dynamos. Again, this is all very retrospective because I lost the original video. But I haven't set anything up yet, so you'll actually at least get to see me set it up, which is the important part. So basically, the primary blocker to these is they cost vibrant alloy, so you can't get these until you can make vibrant alloy. Everything else is fine. Diamond furnace, excitation coil. These are 4 vibrant alloy ingots each, and they require an energized gear, which is 4 energetic alloys each. And this requires infinity gears, which are an iron gear and 2 grains of infinity, which you get by setting bedrock on fire with a flint and steel. I think I might have shown it in a previous video, I can't remember. But basically, you can also find these in loot chests as well in the Lost Cities. I believe you can find these in loot chests, and you can find these in loot chests, but they are pretty rare. They're pretty rare to find in the, although these are actually rarer, and I found 8 of these in the Lost Cities. I didn't find either of these, but I found 8 of these, even though they're supposedly rarer. But basically, what we should be able to do now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a stack of these into plates, and I'll just put the other stack in the, I'll just put the other stack in here for now. So hopefully, hopefully we should be able to support 2 dynamos off this one simulation chamber. Now the interesting question becomes, where am I going to put all of this? This is a very dodgy setup. This is going to be, this is a very dodgy setup. It's very temporary. And I know that in Greg Tech, temporary setups become permanent, but I can guarantee you this one won't, because we'll be moving all of this at some point. I also know that I keep promising plastics. As I end each episode, I'm like, oh, we'll do plastics. We will definitely do plastics next episode, because once I've sorted my power problems, my next problem is that I want cheaper circuits. But basically, we never have to worry about ender pearls ever again. This setup is completely self-sustaining. The only issue we have with it is when it's all going, it makes the power struggle a bit. Now, these dynamos are 3750 each, so that will be, what, 7,500? That'll be 7,500, I think, with 2 of them. This takes 8192. This will transport 8192 RF per tick. The bottleneck will actually be this, because this can only transport 5,000 RF per tick, but there's nothing we can... That's, you know, something we can easily sort. Like any good engineer, if something is... if we need more of something, just build it bigger. So basically, we'll build this a bit bigger. I could probably make advanced capacitor banks, potentially. Yeah, I could actually make advanced capacitor banks. The problem is I have 5 of these, so I'd have to build a 6th one, and then that would build down into 3 advanced ones. And the advanced ones do 5,000 each, so 3 of them connected together would do 15,000 RF per tick, which would see us for a while. That would actually see us for a little while. It would definitely see us to the next tier of conduit, because the next tier of conduit is 32768, I think. Vibrant alloy energy conduit. So the next tier is, end steel is the next tier. End steel's quite easy to make. I just don't think we can make it right now. But anyway, that's not really a thing right now. So I need plates. This will be enough plates. That's basically done anyway. But yeah, so I need to make fuel catalyzers to make these diamonds basically go as far as they can. Basically make these diamonds, stretch these diamonds as far as possible. So in theory, the way this should work is I should hopefully be able to put the... I think the way I might do it is, because I will be having more DME set up. So I will have more of these machines, which means I am going to have to make sure that I have room. I have room to run the conduit to connect the pulsating pole and the clay. I think what I might do is I might do power on this side. Because the only input into this is the diamonds. So if I do... I guess I mean, the quest book will tell you, but the other thing you need is the lapidary calibration. This is quite easy to make. It's just an emerald with 9 diamond plates. These are made by cutting a diamond block in a cutting machine, and basically that will allow it to burn diamonds, or any gems really, but diamonds offer the most energy. Technically, quantum quantum flux or whatever it is, offers like 300,000 more, but it's not actually, flux crystal. This actually offers like 300,000 more, but it's not really worth it because you need destabilized redstone and diamonds to make it, when you might as well just burn the diamonds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them here, I'd say. It's all subject to change. So where's my wrench? Am I just being blind, or have I lost my wrench? I think I've lost my wrench. Surely it's not ended up in... Oh no, it has ended up in here apparently. Somehow. So if we do that, and then these are basically ready to go. What we need to do now is we need the simulation chamber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the simulation chamber... I'm going to put the simulation chamber here, and then put the loot fabricator there. And then these will make extraterrestrial matter, but that's fine, because we're going to connect it to this conduit. Because we need to connect it to this conduit to get the pulsating polymer clay. So we're going to connect it to this conduit. And I believe that is cyan? Yeah. So this will put the... PPC in. And then what we'll do is we will extract on yellow. Which means that the extraterrestrial matter will end up in the... will end up in there, where we've got a void upgrade. And then the pristine matter will end up in another drawer. We don't really have one. I could just borrow this, couldn't I? What is that? Pristine ghast matter. Yeah, well, just void that. So let's unlock it and then make it, and then we'll shove it. Yeah, well, we're just gonna shove it there, and then rotate it to be the right way, and then I need some. And then what I need to do is grab the pristine matter out of here. So luckily, we have a decent amount of pristine matter to kickstart it with. So what we can do is we put it in here, and when we put it in here, it sets the type, and it will remember this now. In fact, I'm fairly sure if I try to shove a different pristine matter in, I don't think it'll work. It might do, actually. Yeah, it will, which is... So I do need to put an item filter on this now, because I have multiple... yeah, I'm going to have to make an item filter to put on here, unless I use a different... No, I can't use a different channel for the pristine matter. But basically, if I do that... Pressing all the wrong buttons. So if we do that, and then... So that's locked to pristine shulker matter now. But what I'm going to need is I'm going to need an item filter. Don't know how painful these are to craft. Item filter. We need the Ender IO one because obviously we're using conduits. They need a hopper. You know what? I'm just going to make 3 of them. That's not correct. We will make... Shove 30 iron in here for now. Do that, and then not throw things around. So we'll make 3 hoppers. We'll make 3 hoppers. or 3 item filters for now. Or at the very least, we'll make 3 hoppers. We won't necessarily spend them all on item filters right now, but we'll just to save us. I need to batch craft some of this stuff, but what will happen soon, as in very soon, probably not next episode. Excuse me. Probably not next episode because I really need to stop saying I'm going to do plastics and then not do them. It will probably potentially be the episode after, or maybe even in between episodes, where I just start to set up more blast furnaces, because I now have the gas production to get the gas discounts, and also I have the and I will also now have the power to support multiple blast furnaces, which means I can start passiving some stuff, because steel is just oxygen and iron, so that's really simple, and we can start passiving some of the metals. Aluminium, yeah, we could probably maybe do aluminium as well. It's just also have to think about how to like run the like item conduits and stuff over. But I'm just kind of yammering away here. So we will now need to item filter this one and limit it to pristine enderman matter. Yep. And then, I mean, in theory, these shouldn't hopefully ever... in theory, I may not even need to actually filter these, because the data models should actually be producing... Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to try and not filter this for now. I mean, worst case scenario, it switches types and the whole thing stops working, but it's fine. Because what should hopefully happen is... so that's yellow. So what should hopefully happen is this will basically always be... will always have at least one matter in it, which means it won't be able to, which means it, you know, shulker matter won't be able to end up in here, because there'll always be at least one enderman matter. And because of how slowly this uses ender pearls, because one ender pearl is 4 pulsating polymer clay, and this has a 30% chance to produce matter. What should basically happen is this should always outproduce the production of pristine matter should always outpace the consumption, at least for the moment. So we probably don't actually need to filter it. We probably just have to put a stack in. Oh, we already have a stack in there. We probably just need to put a stack in there, and then so that's extracting on pink to go somewhere. Yeah, we'll have a different color. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll probably run a completely different conduit network here. So we'll do like that, and don't connect them. So this needs to insert on... And that's magenta, isn't it? Yeah. So that needs to insert on... I think it's quicker to go this way, isn't it? Yeah. So that needs to insert on magenta and not extract, and then this just needs to extract on, like, brown. And these need to insert on brown. And then what should happen, and then what we need to do is do that, and then what we can do is we can actually share the block space. So we'll just do like that and that. And then you don't have to do this. This is just an OCD thing. I like the I like the arrows to represent the direction that power is moving, but you definitely don't have to do it. It has no, at least for like blocks that only consume power, it has no impact whether this is set to extract, because you can't extract power from these blocks. I definitely like to do it on here to make sure that I have power running in one direction. I always like to have power running from a source and then broken by a capacitor, and then another power line running in a single direction out of the capacitor, because it just keeps everything clean. Because obviously you could insert an extract from this both on the same line. You know, this line could just connect directly to that, and the whole thing could just have one connection to the capacitor, and you could insert an extract. But I'm not quite sure how that works because there's no priority system on energy conduits, so I believe the extraction is based on the path, like quickest path. So the closest energy source to the consumer will be extracted from first, I believe is how it works. But yeah, basically this should actually work. So I need some diamonds to shove in here. I should just need to shove like one diamond into each dynamo to bootstrap it. And these should be ludicrously efficient because of the fuel catalysts. Yeah, look at that. 3750 RF per tick. This is now chugging along. This is now making diamonds, and the diamonds are being extracted into here. This should be completely self-sustaining now. Yeah, this should actually sustain itself forever, because as long as the pulsating polymer clay production keeps going. But this also produces over 3 times the power of that entire steam setup just in these 2 dynamos. And the thing is that we can... Yeah, the burn rate on these is... I think we can definitely have more than 2... I mean, look at the burn rate. I think we can definitely have more than 2 dynamo. I think the thing I need to watch out for is obviously oh, this isn't inserting. Is this not set? Oh, this isn't set to extract. So that would be helpful. There we go. So in theory, what should happen now is this should produce pristine matter and it should end up in there, but obviously it's only got a 30% chance. But 2 dynamos is realistically all we need right now, but I have a feeling this could support more. What I'm going to do is, because I know somebody has done the math on this, I have seen it in my travels on Reddit. I know somebody's done the math on this. I will quickly just go and double check. So I will be back in 2 seconds. Right, so I found it. It turns out the Reddit post I was reading is actually based off a post on Threefold's Discord. So I will link it in the video description. I will link the post in the video description. But basically, because it has a few other useful ratios for deep mob learning, or deep mob evolution as it's now called. But basically, one of these, so this setup with 1 self-aware model and 1 loot fabricator will support 2.29 reinforced dynamos. These are not reinforced, these are hardened. So basically I could upgrade these to reinforced and this setup would still support it. You know what? We're going to do that. Oh, they have to be full of fuel catalyzers though. That was the caveat in the post. So you need to put the lapidary augment in, and then the other augment slots all need to be fuel catalyzers. Don't bother with any other upgrades. You can use auxiliary transmission coils to boost output by 100%, but they also boost fuel consumption by 100%. So they're not really worth it. Do I have enough Electrum? I think I actually have enough Electrum to do this. Because it's 32 for the gears, and then it's 8 for the plates. So we'll quickly throw these in here. And then we'll upgrade them to reinforced, which should... that should actually take their power output to a decent amount. One upgrade that could be worthwhile, but I guess it's probably not, because you can... one upgrade that could be worthwhile, but I guess it's probably not, is... Oh, this is actually... Oh, yeah. The thing I mentioned earlier about... not having issues with, not having to use filters because this will always be full. That isn't the case when it's bootstrapping, because obviously this is filling up. So I'm going to put a filter on here. I'm going to quickly shove a filter on here and limit it to pristine shulker. Pristine shulker matter. There we go. So we should probably do that. But yeah, basically I'm going to upgrade these to reinforced. And then this setup will support 2 reinforced dynamos. Because obviously you can't get 0.29 of a dynamo. So, but 2 reinforced dynamos will actually work perfectly fine. But one thing that I was going to say could be worth it is the excitation field limiter upgrade. Because what that means is when the dynamo is full, or nearly full, it will stop burning fuel. But I don't... It's probably not worth it. Because of the fact that fuel is basically free now, it's probably not worth it, in all honesty. And I believe these do burn fuel. These do burn fuel slower once they're full, I believe. So they will continue to burn fuel while they're full, but I believe they burn it a lot slower. But anyway, so if we should have the... So that's still... That's almost done. To make the electrum gears. And then we have the plates. Might as well grab those as well. And we just need to wait for these. And yeah, basically, power for the foreseeable future is basically going to be building more of these. But this setup here, especially with reinforced dynamos, this setup will probably get us through to our new base. This will probably get us all we need through to our new base, especially combined with a big buffer. When we convert that to advanced capacitor banks, we'll have a very big buffer. We'll have about a 15 million RF buffer when we convert that to advanced. So, and this setup will support us for quite a while as well, this pulsating polymer clay setup. So, realistically, this power setup should be fine, because the hungriest data model that we're going to be running is the Enderman model, which is 2048 RF per tick. That's the hungriest we're going to be running for the foreseeable future. So, if I put you in there... Are the gears ready yet? The gears are ready, so we should be able to convert these to reinforced dynamos. Where are we? Reinforced. They do need blocks of aluminium as well, which we can do. And then... So this will be interesting. How much power is this going to output now? Oh, 6250 RF per tick. Look at that. So we have 12,500 RF per tick right now of maximum power generation capability. That far exceeds, you know, that exceeds but what these can carry by nearly 50%. But yeah, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. That's gonna see us for quite a while. I will create the additional 4 fuel catalyzers we need to get this to keep this chugging along. Please tell me I haven't run out of gold rods. Just enough. So we'll do that. And then I'll probably wrap the episode here. Like I said, I recorded all of me sort of getting this built and whatnot. But yeah, I lost that recording, unfortunately. But yeah, this is basically our power generation sorted for quite a while now. So we're getting 2.4 million RF per diamond now, which is awesome. And what will happen is this will now slowly fill up. But basically, because of the ludicrous amount of diamonds that we have in here now. I can't. Okay, well, you know what? We're probably going to need some diamonds anyway, so there we go. Because of the ludicrous amount of RF that we're getting from each diamond, and the fact that this mod only needs 512 RF per tick, this should fill up with pristine matter, and there should be no risk of it running out of power. we should end up with a load of pristine matter. But at a 30% chance, it's probably going to take a little while. Because this... the result of this, where this is, you know, slowly, so what's that? We're at 99 in the drawer, and we've got 64 in here, and this is all clogged up. This was the result of me leaving it overnight. So, yeah, this was the result of me leaving it overnight. So this will probably do something very similar. I'll leave this overnight, I'll leave this overnight, and it'll probably be clogged up by the morning. So each shulker matter gives us each pristine shulker matter gives us 6 diamonds. So that's 12 million RF, which is awesome. So basically, we're not going to touch this again now for quite a while. Now, the other thing is, so we're going to need, so this setup here it's very slow, but it's fine for now, because we're not outpacing it. Even when we hook up a few more resources, you know, we'll probably have one simulation chamber and loot fabricator for each of the basic ingots. So that's iron, gold, copper, etc. Even when we're doing that, this will probably still keep up. This will probably still keep up, if I'm honest. But in the future, our DML requirements, I'm going to keep calling it DML. I don't know why. DME just feels wrong. But basically, our DML requirements, they're going to get massive. You know, we're going to have loads of simulation chambers and loads of loot fabricators, etc. The ratio of simulation chambers to loot fabricators is about, I think it's like 19 to 1. So you can, if you want a constant stream of pristine matter into the fabricator, then you have 19 of these chambers. Basically, we're going to get very big, but by that point, we'll have things like applied energistics and stuff like that to help us automate. But yeah, basically, we're going to get very, very big, because even once we get to the creative tank, we are still going to need, which will give us infinite of a lot of resources. Any resource that can be turned into a fluid, we will get infinite of when we get to the creative tank. But bearing in mind, we're a long, long way from the creative tank. So the creative tank is I'm fairly sure the path to the creative tank in Nomi CEu is actually longer than it is in Nomi CE. So basically, we have to make, it's a ZPM recipe, don't let that fool you. You need the creative quantum tank data, which is a heart of a universe, which is 5 minutes in a microminer at UHV. And then you actually have to make the provider as well, which is a multi-block. And the multi-block needs LUV field generators, which basically need to be built in the assembly line and requires ZPM circuits. So yeah, ironically, I think the casings might actually be the easiest part. But yeah, basically, one of the really nice... So, for example, when we get Creative Tank, we will get the ability to make trinaquid alloy, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be able to make that renewably because it's a fluid, so you can solidify it from a fluid. So, but yeah, we're a very long way from the Creative Tank. But the thing that you also get in the end game is the simulation supercomputer. So this is another really cool looking multi-block, and basically this one block, I believe the ratio is that this one multi-block does the same work as 100 of these, if I recall correctly. But yeah, basically it's a very expensive recipe. It's UHV in an assembly line. It needs a heart of a universe. We will probably need more than one of these, I suspect. The Omnium, I don't think, is too bad. Well, actually, no. Omnium requires one of every material in the pack, I think, or something like that. But yeah, so basically, we're going to get to... So we're going to start off with a very humble DME setup, which is just going to have a simulation chamber and a loot fabricator for each basic ingot. But eventually we're gonna have a massive DME setup to support a massive factory to pump out the hearts of a universe and everything else we need to make all the endgame items. So, yeah, we're starting in very humble beginnings. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here because I didn't really have any plans other than doing the numismatic stuff, but obviously I didn't want to skip over it. This is a big milestone in Nomifactory. Just like automating pulsating polymer clay is a big milestone. Getting numismatic power is a big milestone in normal mode, because this will basically see us for quite a while. Regarding the endgame, I've not seen the Nomifactory CEu endgame because I've not really watched any other content creators that play CEu. I have seen the Nomifactory CE endgame by watching Threefold's playthrough. But Greg Tech Community Edition, Greg Tech CEu is quite a different beast to Greg Tech CE, so the progression is probably noticeably different and longer. But for any of you out there that have played something like Factorio, for example, the end game of Nomifactory will feel quite familiar because it basically just becomes about scale. So, but we've got a long way to go before we get there. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. And I know it's been a bit of a weird one, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.